And just like that, we back. Now, it is not back, but I'm back. So, y'all, we finna get back to doing love and marriage hunts for honey. The people is requesting, y'all been asking and all that stuff, but we know the real reason we back, child. Okay. All right, stay tuned for more.
We keeps it real. Expressing how we feel. Whoa. So come on in and sip some tea. Join the Kourtney family. We're about relationships and review. Making it fun just for you. Go and God, let God go with you. It's time for Kourtney and Eddie.
I always put God first.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Kourtney. My husband Eddie is recovering from surgery, back surgery. So y'all send him some love down in the chat and all those things. So if you're brand new to this channel, we're all about relationship reviews, entertainment, and funny, and our rants and all the things that he normally say, chat. So you probably won't get all that from me because I can't even remember all the stuff that he say. So yes. So you guys, a lot has been going on since the last time that we've done Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all. It has been 2 years, about 2 years, and seemed like 4 seasons. So I went back. The last time we did it was season 6, and it looks like they're on season 10. So it's been a while. It's been a while. So if the only reason you came over here for Love and Marriage Huntsville, then I want to hip you up to what has been taking place. Of course, the shirt says "Divorce the Drama, Married the Mission." So you definitely want to check out our website where we have new merch, a lot of empowerment for our women and everything. And I have my own podcast called The New Era Podcast. You can go to that.com and check out all the podcasts from season 1. Right now, we're taking a break and we'll be on season 2 shortly. And also, don't forget that I wrote my own first book. So you can purchase the ebook. It's called Swipe Right After 40. And you can purchase it at swiperightatafter40.com and purchase it there. Or you can go to thenewera.com. You can go to either one of those and you can purchase it. Now, the book was written on my inspiration, as far as a lot of people wanted to know how I did it. What was the blueprint of me marrying my now husband? And I met him on a non-dating app. I built a community of singles, and I draw my husband to me. As people say, honey, you manifest. I draw my husband to me. So, and the book on Swipe Right After 40 is not just about how we met, but it's also about, just being open up once you are divorced, opening yourself up again for new things, whether it be love or business or just new opportunities. So y'all go check those things out. All of that is in the description below. So this was my commercial. Yes, it was. Now let's get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, let me be honest. Okay. We know that Melody Holt left Love and Marriage Huntsville. From what I understand, I have not been watching this show in the 4 seasons that we have not been watching, reviewing it. So I really and truly don't know a lot of deets of what took place, the inner workings, and a lot of stuff. I did, it would come across my feed on social media. So I am aware of the things that took place on social media as far as, I know she said she was leaving and all that stuff, whatever. So I do know that. I did watch a little bit of the reunion from last season, a little bit. I think we was on vacation and was on. So I ended up watching a little bit of that. But the new couple, I'm not familiar with them a whole lot. And just from what I saw from last night, I don't think I will be familiar with them. Like I'm not feeling them. I think I wasn't feeling them just by strolling on social media and I seen them. I don't feel, and y'all can help me, like update me, all those things, because I was not going to go back and watch all those previous seasons. But it doesn't look like they are a fit. And that's just my personal opinion. And I can't tell you what it is, but just don't look like they're a fit. And so yeah. So but I can say it's easy to miss a bunch of seasons and jump back in, child, because it don't look like I needed much catching up, because it doesn't look like much has changed. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's get into it. That's my opinion on that. And I used to think this. Let me say this. I was thinking when we was reviewing the show, I didn't think that this show, at first I thought this show would be able to survive without Melody Holt. I did. feel like, okay, well, the other cast can carry it, blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, I don't know now. I don't know. Because a lot of their storylines, from just what I saw when we was reviewing it, of course, they did have to have conversations around her. Conversations. Some of that, in my opinion, is production. That production, makes a person a staple. And of course, her and her husband, came on this show and invited people on, and of course, they were the centerpiece of the show. And so, a lot of things were revolved around them, conversations around them, conversations. And so that was tiring to actually see that a lot. But I feel like a lot of that was production. And so, as far as where we are now, like I said, at first I didn't think it would survive. Then I said, well, at first I did, I felt it could. Then I said, however. But I looked at this now and I said, okay, I can see it surviving. To me, in my opinion, if you don't make a person the centerpiece, everybody having their own different storylines, y'all coming together, all that stuff, whatever, then I feel like it can survive. And I feel like now it honestly can survive. Will it be like entertaining? I don't know. Last night I didn't feel like it was not entertaining. I felt like it was entertaining. It didn't draw me in. It was the first episode, but it didn't draw me in like, oh my God. But it was entertaining. It kept my attention for the most part, especially me trying to pay attention really to kind of catch up. But as far as, I don't think it's gonna be a person that's gonna be the centerpiece anymore. Everybody's gonna be doing their own thing and stuff. So I think that's enough of me rambling. Y'all probably fast forward anyway. Okay, so let's get into it. So now it starts out. Now again, I'm new, so like I said, I'm ignorant in some areas. But is it me or did Letitia and Marcel? At first, I thought they moved, but maybe they just like gutted their old house out and is gorgeous on the inside. I love the decor. I like that it's updated and all those things, and it looks nice on the inside. So maybe they just what's the word, redesigned the inside, gutted it out and just redid it. So yeah, but it kind of looks like it's the same house, kind of sitting on that corner, and the road, they buy that road and stuff like that. So it kind of looked like the same, but I do like it. So Letitia is cooking, with the kids and stuff like that. She was telling her son take that wig cap off, and Marcel walk in and pretty much tell him the same thing. And those kids done got big, child. Especially the girl, honey. She about the same size as her brother now. So yeah, the kids done got big and all that stuff. So, they have such a cute family. So of course, who back, child? Because now that Mel gone, Wanda is back, child. She is back, honey. And they made her introduction, honey. She pulls up. And bam, boom. Now, some of y'all may not like it. Some of y'all like it. I always felt that Wanda was, a good addition to the show. I did. People felt like, oh my gosh, I hate her. But she was entertaining and people would watch just to hate her. Like she had the eyeballs on it. Because I told you I did my research. The times when Wanda was on it, the ratings got higher. So, hey, it is what it is. And y'all say we're a Wanda fan and is. But, Wanda wrong, I'm definitely going to, say my piece and call her out on it because, but yeah, I do like Wanda. I think Wanda is a cool person in person. And I always felt on the show that she was just there for entertainment. Now, but I do feel like that her and Marcel's relationship is what that's real life right there. That's real life. So it seemed like Wanda is there to pretty much confront Marcel about the situation. Now, again, this right here played out on social media. Honey, I said that I wasn't in it, but child, I was in it when it came on social media. It came through my feed, and I would be reading to try to find out what was going on. Now, I didn't go and watch the interview, but I felt like somebody had somewhere put the interview on social media. I think clips of it or something like that. So it seems as though, now just from my recollection, I don't know everything that happened, but it seems as though that Martell said something about Letitia, right? So I don't know. I guess from last season, it was some kind of inner workings where Martell was saying something about, I don't know, Marceau, I don't know, having a relationship with, I guess, with other people and something like that, and somebody teaching something or whatever. I don't know what it was. But I do know that Tisha went on Carlos' podcast YouTube child, just like us, YouTube channel, and said some things about Martell. I guess just from what I understood, didn't watch it, just clips of it that was floating around. That not only do he sleep with women, but he also sleep with men. If that's allegedly, I think that's what she said. Well, of course, they got Martell mad, and Martell said, "Okay, you want to play dirty games? Let me get dirtier." So he went and got some woman, and him and Ariane, because y'all can see, Chad, Ariane, honey, it's safe for her to come out the bushes, Snapchat. So as you can see, Ariane, he said that Ariane and him did a podcast, a YouTube channel, Chad, uh, where they sat down and they talked to a woman that I think was a side chick of Marceau or something like that, ex side chick, something like that, or whatever. So that's what Wanda coming in and she's talking about. Is any of that true? And to me, my opinion, this get old. It really do. It gets so old, honey. It's like old, ancient dirt, child. It's just old. Like I don't want to hear. Me been gone almost 2 years, 4 seasons, and this is what I got to come back to. You know what I'm saying? Like it get old. It get old. It really do. Remember when Martell said, "Ooh, my son got 20 women's," and Wanda said, I heard you got 20 women's." That was like what, season 1 or 2? So it's like that gets old. So if we can't have storylines that has nothing to do with cheating. I mean, like we done ran that to the ground, to the bus, honey, the wisdom fell off and you riding on the rotor, baby. So we done with Marceau and this cheating stuff. Like we got to be done. We got to be done. You know what I'm saying? And Martell, I guess that's all he had, because Tisha said some stuff about him and he was like, "Hey, let me bring out the actual proof of someone." But anyway, so that's why that's why Wanda is over there. She's basically talking about that. And he was like, "Listen, ain't none of that true," stuff like that. But Wanda get amped up when she talked to Marceau, because honey, I think he really and truly runs her blood pressure up, Jack. So now let's move on to the situation where Kimmy, Maurice, and Maurice Jr., because we're not calling him monster over here. So they are having sit down having a conversation. Now let me tell you something. Like Kimmy hair is so beautiful. Like that is her natural hair. If you follow her on Instagram, I think at one point she cut it real, real short, but now that baby, that stuff done grew back. I think her hair was like thick and long. Like Kimmy got some beautiful hair for a woman that endured chemo, and also for her to be, of a certain age, which I'm sure she was in menopause, perimenopause, all that stuff, whatever. All of that affects your hair. To ask me, I know, Chad. So yeah, but her hair is gorgeous. So let's see. Kim and Marceau, they're sitting there talking to Maurice Jr. about, college and all that stuff, whatever, and two colleges that, he's thinking about going to and all that stuff. So they're talking to him about, choices, the choices you got to make. You got to be around the right people, make the right choices. Just because other people doing it, you can't be doing it, can't be no following, all that stuff. So Maurice brought up the fact of the DUI. Once again, I heard about that on social media. I didn't watch the show, but I did hear that he, got a DUI, and he was just saying, "Have your friends been talking about that?" He was like, "Yeah." He said, "What have they been saying?" He said, "Well, they've been making jokes and cracks and stuff like that. I hadn't talked to you about it, but." And he said, "Well, one thing, did they go back and update you, or is there any kind of update on, my dismissal, because it's been dismissed? There's one thing that people talk about, I guess the bad things, the disparaging things, but they don't update on what has taken place." And I wanted to say, well, I don't know all the deets of the DUI. But I do want to say this, that Maurice is an attorney. Like Huntsville is not all of that big. I'm quite sure you was able to speak to the right people to get it dismissed. Now, the dismissal does not mean that you wasn't guilty of it, right? Like a dismissal mean they just threw it out, So I don't see why that really and truly matters. And like Kimmy said, being the things that they don't want to have that on his record. They don't need that. So I'm sure they was able to talk to the judge or talk to whoever they needed to talk to get it dismissed. So I don't feel like there was nothing to update on. To me, I feel like if it was a complete lie, that would have been an update. But I don't see where they said it was a lie. They just said it was dismissed. Okay. So let's move on. It seems as though that Kimmy is getting into selling properties and real estate and all that stuff, whatever. She probably been into it, but again, I don't know. And so she was just talking about some things that she's doing, and I was like, okay, go Kimmy. And he was like, I'm so glad that you're finally doing something. She was like, I've been doing this. Like, Kim is a nurse, is not sure if she's still doing that. And then she's doing real estate. Yeah, because she was on like HGTV or something like that, where they did a scene where she was showing the property and stuff. So yeah, Kimmy, do your thing. Like, So now Kimmy made a conversation. She was still talking to Maurice, and she's just talking about, I was talking to Tisha, and she was talking about Chris. At first I was like, who is Chris? Oh, the Fletchers, okay. So she was talking about Chris and basically saying some conversation about signing an NDA, with like if you got a side chick or you cheating or you mess with some woman, your wife don't need to know about it, then you need to make this chick sign an NDA and all that stuff, whatever. And so he was like, that's not something I do, but he did make a reference to Marceau, and I think it was Marceau and Maurice doing it. I was like, child, NDA. Who is y'all? Like, who is y'all? Like, P. Diddy, child, who is signing? Come on now. And like, I mean, let's be clear. I've signed NDAs, and I've signed NDAs for corporate America because of the field that I'm in. Had to sign NDA, can't do this, can't say this, if you use the lead, blah, blah, blah. But an NDA does not mean if you sign it that these folks still won't run their mouth. It just basically mean that if you run your mouth, I'm going to sue you. And a lot of times, the people that you probably mess with ain't got that much money anyway. So, like, I just don't understand why this is just like the staple. This is just like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so Maurice was like, what? So Kim was like, yeah, he just kind of threw you on the bus and stuff like that. Maurice said, well, I didn't, I ain't make nobody sign no NDA. So she was like, well, that's not the right answer. I was like, what is the right answer, Kim? Because I didn't understand either. I thought he said, like, he answered your question. She was like, no, you're supposed to say, no, I'm not dealing with a side chick. I was like, well, to me, in that regard, I didn't get it either. He was like, oh, okay. I didn't get it either. He said he ain't make nobody sign no NDA, but you said wrong answer, Chad. You supposed to say, nope, I ain't got no side chick, and I ain't make nobody sign an NDA. Okay, got it. So Destiny is I don't know, was Destiny, I don't know if Destiny was on last season. I think she was on last season, but I don't know why they say she back. Like, she was on last season, wasn't she? Like, I know she left one season but came back. But anyway, so she's also into real estate. And she said that she done had her real estate license for like 19 years. So, she, in other words, she said, child, I ain't trying to copy nobody, I ain't trying to copy Kim, I ain't trying to copy nobody, child. I've been doing this for a long time. I may not have been active, but I've been had my license. And so Martell comes in to meet up with her, and she got some gifts for him and stuff. And it seems as though that she's still doing Madonna. I don't know if it's online. I don't know if it's an actual physical building or anything like that. Because, I think at one time, honey, a lot of stuff went down with that. But she still got it. And so she got him some candles, from Madonna, because of Madonna and stuff like that or whatever. So, he was like, oh my gosh, he smells so good. Of course, she's trying to get, her stuff out there. So y'all order some candles. I'm guessing. I don't know if they're online. I don't know. So she was also saying evidently Martell got some kind of property that he is, I guess, selling or want to buy. I don't know. But she was like, hey, put me down as one of the realtors on the property. He's like, okay, but I already promised it to like one or two people. But she said, you can still put me down. We're gonna split that commission all of these many ways, child. I need my money. I gotta get in these streets and make some money, child. So yes, get it. So as they were sitting there talking, he said something about Ariel. Now, it has been the taboo, child, that they don't say her name in the previous season, child, because Melody was on there. So you couldn't say her name. So now they're saying it boldly, and they're not calling her coleslaw, side chick, and nothing like that, which I never was calling a girl coleslaw. You know what I'm saying? Heck, she put in the work to be called some other than coleslaw. She been around a long time. She been around a long time. When I seen them post that picture on social media, I started to comment and say, if stick beside him was a person, that would be her. I'ma stick beside him, even though he called me piss. I'ma stick beside him, even though he dated Sheree in my face. I'ma stick beside him, even though I'ma stick beside him. Now, of course, women, men, people can mature, but the way that he dogged her out in front of us, the public, I would not be. It's my new word now because I just heard it. It's not new, but people have said canoodling. I would not be sitting up here being with this man. I wouldn't. Like, we can co-parent together, but I'm going to build something apart from you. Like, I'm going to, so because it's just too embarrassing, you know. And he said that Destiny was saying, so okay, so you and your woman, doing y'all thing or whatever. He was like, yeah, I think he said he's paying for her to go to nursing school and all that stuff, whatever. And so he was like, okay, this getting serious. He was like, yeah, she may even get a ring. So he was like, I know, we've been through some things, some ups and downs. I kind of called her a peasant, and of course, Shady Production child, they rolled the tape. And so he said, but she's matured, I'm matured, and he said, she my one, and I'm glad that she been in my corner. Even though I was on reality TV and I said I was dating Sheree, and that was a lie. But not saying they weren't intimate, but so she said I'ma stick beside him, child. Is this your man? Yes, that's him. I'ma stick beside him. So that's her. That's her. And there's nothing I can say, that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But one thing I did peep is that Destiny said, okay, so you're a one woman man now. He was like, of course. That was a little bit too slow. No, come on now. You can't, man, come on now. Come on. Martell enjoy being in these streets, child. He enjoy the attention that he get from women. And come on now. He that was too slow for him. That was too slow. That was too slow for him. I'm sorry. And he had this smirk on his face. So no, he's not just with her. Like, come on, man. Now she the main chick. But do you do know that, as they say, when you've become the side chick and now you're the main chick, there is a position open. Somebody got to feel it. So he may not feel it right then, but he gonna eventually feel it. Especially if a man's not ready to settle down with one woman. And we can see that when he was previously married. And he did make the statement that he called her a peasant because he was married, but he still didn't have to call her a peasant because you was missing. What is you, a penguin? I mean, not a pigeon, not a penguin, pigeon. Like, come on now. Like, come on. Anyway. All right, so Destiny said about her and Lance. Now, I did get and I don't know where I got it from, but I did get that she was supposed to be dating the Fletcher's son. I see his name, Lance. I think I got that from the last part of the reunion, and everything. And so I don't know what happened with that. And I don't know if Lance was all in it last year and all that stuff, whatever, last season. But it seemed like that she found out that he had a baby, and Martell kind of brought that up. Messy Martell, child. He is with it, child. He gonna bring the mess on it. He gonna bring his bag of mess. So she said, well, she found out, I guess, when everybody else found out, on social media. So she also was talking about, the situation where he brought this woman, Martell brought this woman, him and Ariane, on the podcast. It's supposed to be somehow like Marceau, I guess, woman that he messed with, previous, past, I don't know. So she brought up that fact, and so he was like, yeah, they came for me. So I went back with them blazing. I went back with them blazing. So she was like, listen, you're above that. Like, please don't do all of that back and forth and stuff. He said, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying they come for me, gonna come for them, period. So she was like, yeah, I get it, but still, you need to stay focused. You hadn't been on social media. No, he said, I hadn't been on social media. She's like, when? You just on it. You like, yeah, I had to come back to do that, But other than that, I don't really be on social media like that. She said, well, you know how it is, when stuff like that go haywire on social media, how it can look. I was easy, I know, but still, like, you come for me, I'm gonna come for you. So let's move on to Ken Lee. I don't know if you put that name together. It's Ken Lee. That's country. But I don't know if you put it together and it's Ken Lee. Do y'all call him Ken Lee or is he just Ken over here? I don't know. But Marquez, I think I'm saying it correctly. So, and her name is Latricia, Latrice, Letitia. Now we got a Letitia. It's some honey her. So anyway, it seems like the ex-husband, um, that they had some beef. I guess because the last reunion, like I don't know these people. Hi, Paul, who these people? I don't know these people like that. And again, I'm not feeling them like that, especially the wife. I don't know. It's just something about her, honey. It's just some. She's pretty later, but I just don't know. It's just something about her. I don't know. I don't know if they just not just perfect match for this show. I just don't feel it. I'm not feeling it at all. Okay. So anyway, it seems as though they talking about I guess Ken Lee and Marquez, they meeting up to talk about the situation that took place at the reunion and stuff like that. From what I understand, the woman is still married to Marquez, but she got this man. That I guess I don't know if she told him she was married to this man or not. But anyway, so she got kids with this Marquez that I guess she's still married to. I guess you can't call him ex-husband because is they married or not? But anyway, talked about that and stuff like that. He was like, listen, man, we need to get along for the sake of the kids, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Really don't care. So Chris and Nell. Now I want to say for the Fletchers. Now I seen Nell glow up, child. Now we seen Chris always on social media doing stuff and stuff like that or whatever, his suits and all that stuff. And I think at one point Martell was saying something about, he cheated on his wife and stuff, and they worked through that. I said, ooh, child, that time, because Martell will put your business out there. Now, some of it could be lies, but he will say stuff. He will pop off. So, what I thought about them, I always thought that they would be the couple that was the maturest out of them all. Because Nell, I don't know how old she is, and I didn't look it up. I really don't really care per se. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I always thought that she brought a certain maturity because she seems to be older than the other ladies, and especially by her mentoring. And I think that was it, whatever, by her and Chris, I guess, kind of counseling Martell and Mel at one point. It just seems like they brought more of what I'm saying, higher up, more of a higher tier. But child, I done seen Nell change on it. She started to act look like one of the girlies. So I guess she said, honey, my man ain't finna get out here and get all this attention, because she was having like this oldness to her while her man was seeming like he wanted to be, fly. And so I think she had to level up her dress, her look and stuff like that to kind of keep up with him. That's just my opinion. But I don't know if I would have liked to still see them up here, you know what I'm saying, and not be on the levels of the other cast. I wanted them to always be the mature people, the level-headed, and not get in the minutia of the drama. That's what I would have. That's what I would have liked to see, and that's what I thought I was gonna see with them, because I had that level of esteem for them. But anyway, so Nell was just saying now their house is bad. Now, I think Chris is a builder or something like that, so I guess I would expect them to have a bad house, but they got a bad house. For them, just them two, child, because they said the son that moved out, honey, you talking about a mansion, child. That house is bad. So Nell was just saying that Lance looks frustrated, with the baby and stuff like that. Lance, I guess, is the one that this was supposed to have been dating or with or whatever. And so he got a child, whatever. And so Chris was like, well, just talk to him. And she said, well, I don't want to talk to him in front of everybody. Duh. He was like, pull him to the side, call him, do something, whatever. Just talk to him and tell him what you noticed about it. And they talked about their grandkids. And I guess at one point it seemed like it affected their marriage because they was watching the kids all the time, yada, yada, yada. And I think Chris, because I was like, Chris got kids? but they must got a child named Chris. So Chris evidently got three children or something like that or whatever. So he got some kids. So they got probably about 4 or 5 grandkids, I guess, I'm assuming. So, they were just talking about that. Chris was saying that Martell gonna stop by. She said, "Oh Lord, oh Lord, that mess that done blew up on." And I wasn't aware of this, but she was like, "Cause I don't follow, I don't see it." I'm not gonna say I don't follow the Fletchers, but I don't see, a lot of stuff that's going on. If it's not put it on the blogs. But so anyway, so she was just saying, "Oh Lord, he finna come over here," and it seems as though at their last event, and I don't know if this just blew up on social media and we're just not talking about it and seeing it, but it seemed like at the last event that took place, some polo something. So it seems as though Nell, a picture was taken of Nell shaking hands with Arion. Well, you can see the side of, I guess, Arion's face. I mean, the hat. And so I guess the people tried to win in that later comment section and I guess did videos on it and stuff. I guess because she was backstabbing me. I don't know, honey. I didn't know what the big deal was it about. Maybe she said, "Ooh, I don't know that woman." Then next thing you know, they see pictures of it. So I don't know. So she had to go on her social media. She said, "Well, her natural hair is pretty," and just basically, and honey, she way down here and got that much of room, that much on the live chat. It wasn't even focused right, honey. We could tell she don't do them often, honey, because she way down here. So she said she had to go on her live and kind of clear the air and say, "Listen, this was not planned. I had no idea this was gonna happen. I believe Martell set me up, blah, blah, blah." So anyway, so that's what the situation was about. And of course, Martell come in. She was like, "I'm mad at you." And he explained, "Listen, I didn't set you up. You know what I'm saying? I really and truly didn't know any of that was going to happen. I didn't, because I guess they said Martell turned his head, I guess, to say, okay, get the picture now." I mean, I don't know. It just don't make much sense to me. I don't know. And maybe out of all the pictures, that was the only picture posted. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I wish the Fletchers was not in the minutia of it all. I wish, because I think it would have been a better fit if they didn't get in. But this is reality TV, and production gonna ask you to say this, tell you to say this, tell you to do this, tell you to go here. So if you want that check, which I'm sure it ain't that much, you got to abide by their rules. Okay. All right. So anyway, but yeah, so Martell said, I didn't do that. It wasn't planned. I would never do that. And so, she apologized for going in on him. And so in her confessional, which she had a pretty dress on, she was like, "I don't know if I believe him, but I'm gonna move past that." So Chris brought up the fact too that I seen you over there on that podcast, what I'm saying, going in on the Scots and all that stuff, whatever. He was like, "Yep, I had to." So I don't know if it's something going on again. Didn't watch, but and please don't ask me to go watch, because I will not torture myself like that. Like I won't. I won't. Y'all catch me up. So anyway, so I don't know if it was the some kind of situation going on with the Fletchers and the Scots. I don't know, because we're gonna see on the next episode of the future season of Kimmy and Nell getting into it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said they're gonna throw me in that pool, child. I was like, not Miss Auntie Nell, not her. Again, I thought this woman was, like the mother of the group. And I don't mean that in a way. I just mean the way she carry herself. She carry herself in that form. She could be the ages of Kimmy or something like that, but she carry herself in that form. That's why I wanted to say that she was like an auntie or mother of the group. But I don't know what Chris said or something like that or whatever. So I did say, Martell said that Tisha just smart and dumb. He said, "How can you be there at the same time?" I was like, "Martell, you is wrong." So anyway, she said what she said, but he said he had to clap back. Now he did bring up the fact too. Now listen, let me pull out my bag of mess, child, because I got to do my job and carry the mess, carry the bone like Sheree, my ex-girlfriend, not so. But so he was like, "Well, did Lance have a baby on Destiny?" Now listen, have a baby on her. Now listen, that's his business. You'll have to ask him. I don't know nothing about Jack. My name Wes, and I ain't in that mess. So now let's move on to Ken and Latrice. Is her name Latrice Risa? Child, Tisa Risa, honey. I don't know. I get it right next time, Jack. So they were sitting there talking about the gym. I guess taking the drive, and they was talking about the gym and all that stuff, whatever. And he was just saying, listen, I talked to your ex, and he seemed like he in a positive space and stuff like that. He want to co-parent with the kids. I just want to get you on board. And she was like, child, I don't believe nothing he's saying, honey, and I don't know what's his motive for any of that. Next thing you got where she is inviting her friend over to her house and everything, and they talking about my kids and all this stuff, and it just went chaotic. That man don't walk through that woman's house. I don't know if he used to stay in that house particularly. I don't know if that was his house as well at one point and he moved out. I don't know if she stayed in that house with her new man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't know the backstory of them, and I'm really not interested. But y'all let me know if they good for the show. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Is they good storyline, all that stuff, whatever, because I don't care. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't like too much care for my kids, too much care for him because he looked like he a little something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he looked like, yeah. And that time that him and the what's his name? What that man's name is? Ken Lee. Like Keith Lee, child. Ken Lee. He said, ain't no sense of both of us fight. I beat you up. I said, oh. He said, where's it gonna get us? I said, you gonna say, you just saying you gonna beat that man up. He said, you beat me up. I said, okay, that's better. I was like, you just finna tell everybody, honey, you gonna beat him. And now it look like you can. I'm just saying. But you want to just put it out there like that. But yeah. So he walked up in that lady house. And thank God for the 19-year-old son has said, Dad, get out. Because what's her name? Sharon, the friend, she asked him, she said something to him. He was like, who was you? But you got any question you want to ask me? So she asked a question. He was like, what was you to ask me a question? She was like, well, you just asked me to ask you a question. Well, I guess I don't know you like that. You know me. You don't know me. I don't know you. You don't know me. So don't be asking no questions. I said, look, man, look. Is you always like this, child? Is they paying you or telling you to flip out like this? Because this looks little unhealthy. Yeah. And the son had said, Dad, go outside. Get out. Go out. He didn't say get out, but he said, go outside. I don't want to hear all this. Like, go outside. I'm going to wait for you out there. Oh, my son saved me. Thank God for my son. All you had to do was just escort yourself out. Like, leave. Well, who told you to twist that doorknob and come in them folks' house? I don't care if it used to be your house. You don't stay there no more. You don't have no right to come in there because your children in there. Ooh, child, that's just a messy situation. See? Honey, when you have to get a divorce and your kids still young and you like the host did and your kids still young and you still have to co-parent with somebody that you just don't get along with, that's ugly. That is real ugly. Child. But when your kids are grown or 19 and y'all ain't got to communicate, that's a beautiful thing. And I said, I know how to say beautiful, but that is a beautiful thing. All right, you guys, I ain't want to go too much in that because I don't get like that. I really truly don't. It's too much back and forth and it's too much chaos and all that stuff, whatever. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Did y'all watch? And it should be back on the next episode, y'all. He is recovering and everything. And I didn't want him to sit here and, do all the things and be in some, pain here and there. But yeah, I will see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to go to the link in the bio and see all the things that I got going on. Make sure, because I'm building my own brand apart from here. Still Kourtney Eddie, but of course, I'm led to do some other things apart from here. So follow me on Instagram as well as YouTube, TikTok, all those things. And I share some of the content on my posts on YouTube on here with Kourtney Eddie. So sometimes I share some of the things, but yeah, so follow me. All that should be in the description below. I will see you guys later. I think that's all I had to say, Chad. That's it. All right, see you guys later. Don't forget to go with God and let God go with you. And always put God first. Deuces. Hey!